Well, hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? I hope everybody's good, 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 and staying warm. Let's see here. Just me. We got Cash. Hello. And TJ. How you doing? Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for being here. We got Brown Eye Girls. How are you? Chief Ruckus. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. We got Mona. Thank you for being here. Hi, Miss Kathy. How are you? Grandma of Minnie. Hello, hello. Well, thank y'all for being here. I was trying my best to go live earlier and it just wasn't working out. I had a horrible headache going and I was trying to put together this video. Get your popcorn. Gosh, that sounds good. I wish I had some. Yum, I love popcorn. But I didn't get to go live earlier. And of course, we know Justin's live. We got some drama going on other channels. So, another small group tonight for us, but we're all good. Good deal. I hope everybody's done well and I hope your weather's all getting better. Hey, in the shape of a heart, how are you? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Our weather was kind of icky and overcast and a little drizzly today and semi cold, but not too bad. So, of course, I live in Texas, and by the time the end of the week gets here, we're going to be up in the high 60s before we plummet down into the 30s again. This up and down weather, man, it just gets to you. But I hope everybody's done good, had a good Saturday. I had girls yesterday, so that's why I didn't go live yesterday. I had the girls with me all day. We painted fingernails. I got mine blue. But whatever they wanted, of course. But anyways, that's how you get sick. That's exactly right. Everybody's going to be sick. Yep, it's coming. But that's how it is here, man. You just go up and down in the weather and before you know it, you got the crud again and again. Oh, goodness, Miss Kathy, you're in the teens tonight. Burr. Sexy nails. Yeah, blue. It's my color. Makes my hands look really white. But that's what I ended up with. They did a pretty good job painting. Got to give them credit. So I had one doing one hand and the other doing the other hand. And they went to go get some cucumbers because they were going to put some on my eyes while I was resting, getting my nails done. And all they had was squash. So they cut 2 slices of squash. But we didn't put them over my eyes. But anyways, hey, what? Wait, what? How you doing? Hope you're good. Thanks for coming in with us. Everybody in the bushes, thank y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. Making memories. That's right. That is right. Yeah. And I'll do it every single day if I have to. Squash. I was like, okay. I debated. I wanted to do it just because they were so sweet and precious about it, but I just couldn't do the squash on my eyeballs. But yeah. Hey, Blue Eyes, how you doing? I hope you're staying warm. Hey, Chit Chat. Thank you for being here with us. Ooh, coastal South Carolina, you're in the 30s. Ooh, that's chilly. And I bet that wind is blowing too. Cold wind. Yeah, they didn't have any cucumbers, so that only thing they could come across was squash. So we have the cut up squash in a baggie where they cut it in half. Oh, kiddos. Gotta love them. But I hope everybody is hanging in there, doing well. I know there's been a lot going on, a lot of drama happening. Of course, we are the bad side. We believe in Seth. We believe in finding Sebastian. And that makes us the bad people. So it's 30 and TJ's been running around in shorts and a t-shirt. Good golly, you sound like my son. Got your fan on at 23. There are people that do that. It can be freezing cold outside, but they got their fan going. Hey, Bo, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. More snow coming to Indiana. Woo! I'm telling y'all, the snow and all the bad weather, that stopped one county above us. So we just had a little sleet and rain. So, oh goodness, between the ocean and the huge Waccamaw River, the breeze is very welcome in the summer, but not in January. I bet. I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Goodness. Pink butterfly, did you slip in on me and I didn't see you? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I missed you. Thank you for being here. Oh. So, anyways, yeah, wouldn't that be something? California really needs all this wet stuff. They really do. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Thanks for coming in and being with us. I appreciate it. Oh, my nose is itchy today. Girl, you and me both, Grandma. I'll be bad as much as they want it. They're going to get it from all of us over here. We'll be bad because we want Sebastian home. We really do. So, yeah, still praying for California for sure. I just seeing the pictures in the aftermath. It is sad. My goodness. He does need to dump some of that snow over there, doesn't he? Hey, RD, how you doing? Thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. We are fixing to watch a video that it took me all day to get it finished. It was crazy. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Nova Scotia is -4, fan in the window and a heated blanket. Way to go, Michelle. I love it. Oh, that menopause. I do not want to go back into that. No way, Jose. Woo. I had a hysterectomy pretty young and I left my ovaries. And then about 5 years later, my doctor was correct. The ovaries started dying off and I thought I was having heart problems, but it wasn't heart. It's springtime to you unless it's -30, TJ. Oh, yeah, 8 more days. That's about what we've got. It's about 8 more days, and then it's going to get cold here again. But, well, I sat there and put together this video today because all the lies that have been told, the important parts that keep us from finding Sebastian. Hey, Peggy, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. But we had the mother's story to go off of, and that's it, because she was supposedly the last one to be with Sebastian. So we have to go by what she's saying. Hey, Trishy. And so with that, we've heard several stories come out of her. We've got the stepfather who can't decide if he's taken a polygraph or not. All these things keep coming out, little things. I have said for a long time, I honestly believe there's a little truth in what he is saying. I believe there's a little truth in what she says to us as well. And so today I put together this video, and so I wanted to share it with you. It's like 8 minutes long, but I hope y'all will be okay with it. Let's see here. Hey, Joe, thanks for coming in. Okay, let me get this ready. Here we go.
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
Would you be willing to? I understand. Miss Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Should I believe him or my lying ears that he has never taken a polygraph before? Didn't he tell us that?
That's what he said. He told you that.
Okay. Dave Mack, crimeonline.com investigative reporter, did he not tell another outlet he'd already taken a polygraph and passed it?
Yep, he sure did. Exact words.
Explain,
he said somebody
please.
asked. He did interviews. He did a number of interviews, Nancy, when and in this one particular, asked about, have you taken a polygraph? He said, somebody asked the question. This is a direct quote. Was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who or when, but what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed, so I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. Exact words. That's what he said.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, I was also offered a polygraph from TBI to take, and I took the TBI polygraph. No disrespect to anybody else out there that's a prolificer. They don't know anything about the case. So, I mean, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask to get you a baseline or whatever, and then, you know, there's a lot of things that go into asking those questions. You just can't just randomly ask a question and expect it to be a yes or a no question.
There's also a reason they
about Nancy Grace. I mean, I would not have stood up in that show allowing somebody to address me like she did, because that was a full-on investigation. Like she interrogated you guys. That wasn't an interview.
But so look at Nancy's Grace show for what it is. You know, what is her job? Her job is not to sit there and worry about the questions that she asks me. That's not what her job is.
Yeah.
Her job is to bring in the ratings and bring in the audience.
Yep.
So however they need to do that is what they do.
Nancy Grace was the original tragedy pimp.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, And when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Say goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
You, the night of Sunday night, when you said there was a noise, what type of noise do you think that was that you heard?
I'm not honestly sure. It sounded like he was messing with stuff in his room, which was not uncommon, which is why I said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you're supposed to go to sleep."
Okay. So you didn't check on him at that time, but did you check on him at midnight? Did you flip the light on and look to see if he was in the bed at midnight when you got up to go to bed?
No, and because I didn't have any reason to. You know, when he was little, I used to check on him all the time, but he's older now and he's 15, and y'all can figure out why a mother may not want to necessarily pop into a teenage boy's room unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Back to that night, you said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school. Are you in school?
I was, yes ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
What are you studying?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate, inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, "Look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed." Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, "Bubba, did you fall out of the bed?" And he said, "No, ma'am." And I said, "Well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep."
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
That right there is, that would be an assumption, and we never saw him.
Yeah.
We saw what he went to bed in, and that was.
Just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February until I came home February 26th.
Children do not vanish into thin air on their own. Someone else has to be involved. So
it's not about Seth. It's not about KK. It's not about Edgar. It's about get your ass out there and do it anyways. That's what it's about.
Well, guys, hello. All the lies into the darkness. Thank you for gifting a membership. And whoever got that membership, make sure to tell her thank you. She is so sweet and so kind. And welcome everybody that's just come in. Thank y'all for being here. So, polygraph, no polygraph, we don't know. He told his friends he's actually taken one for TBI. You know, and then we just sat there and listened to all the different versions of the night of February 25th after they got home from Texas Roadhouse. She went from nothing to a thud. From nothing, just him going to bed, straight to a thud. Over 4 different interviews. What is the truth? We heard Chris say, we know what he was wearing that night. We saw what he went to bed in. Then he turns around and says, I had not seen Sebastian since early February until I got home on the 26th. Does that mean he saw him on the 26th? You know, what is the truth and what is the lie? I don't understand how hard it is to tell the truth for them. You heard Nick Barris say it the best. A child does not just disappear. When that happens, it basically means someone else was involved. That's common sense. Common sense. And yet, the parents are trying to rewrite the script every time they do a live. And I didn't dig hard into how many lives they've done over on the other side. And all the laughter that was happening over there. I've heard so many where it was just a fun time. There's nothing fun about losing your child. Whether that child is missing and you don't know where that child is, or whether you've actually lost him for good. But I would have to say, losing a child and burying your child has got to be a little easier than never knowing what happened to that child. All the what ifs, all the stories, all the things that you keep playing over and over in your head about where he could be, what could happen to him, where, you know, who's got him, what's he being treated like, is he okay, has he cried for me, you know, all the things would just tear up a parent. I could only imagine. But yet we have this mother and stepfather who have pretty much moved out of their house. Where are they going? What happens if he comes home? Will he know where to find you? Are you going to leave a note on the door and tell the new owners, don't take down this note in case my son comes home? He'll know where we moved to. Is that how this works? Because I couldn't hardly move. It took me a little over 4 years to move out of my home that my son last lived in And I know where I can go sit and talk to him at. But I couldn't disturb his room. I wanted his room to stay. But it's not been a year. And they're wanting to move? People, there's something not right about this whole story. There's something that they know and they're not saying. And it is so obvious. And the longer it goes on, the cockier, I believe, in my opinion, Mr. Chris gets. You know, I started to add in the fact that he tells Nancy Grace that he swatted Sebastian with the belt, but that was years ago. Couldn't even remember how long, 3 or 4 years ago. But we all know it wasn't 3 or 4 years ago. It was just prior to Sebastian going missing. It's not fair to Sebastian's father, who is trying his hardest to stay calm, not react to everybody on the other side, tearing him to pieces, putting out his personal information, his address, his phone numbers. That might be public documents, but it is not meant for the public. But they don't care. They have to try their very best to tear down the father, the only parent Sebastian has that is actually grieving for his son. We have the mother, but she can't even tell the truth. How are we supposed to believe she's grieving? How are we supposed to believe Mr. Chris when he tells us he was at work? He can't even tell us if he took a damn polygraph test. And yet, because we call out the lies, we're the bad side. We don't cater to the crap that they're putting out, so we're the bad people. But I'll tell you this, guys, as soon as law enforcement is done and people pay for what has happened to Sebastian, which we all know it's going to happen, I'm not even going to pay attention to the other side and all the excuses they use at that point, because it's ridiculous. You heard them talking about Nancy Grace on that little clip we just played, where Chris decides he knows more about polygraphs than, the expert, the FBI. And he's not going to let them do it because they don't know the case. They don't know this. They don't know that. And then the lady chimes in and says Nancy Grace is the original tragedy pimp. Sorry to bust some bubbles, but it's the other side, tragedy pimping. They put Sebastian's name in all their titles, yet they don't talk about trying to find him. They don't talk about what has happened and what that means. And it is disgusting to sit here, and it's an insult against my intelligence and y'all's to think that we might buy their crap they're spewing, when it's very obvious the mother and the stepfather have done nothing but lie. How can Chris see what Sebastian wore to bed that night? How can he see that along with Katie? How is it that he didn't see Sebastian from the 1st of February until he got home on the 26th? It was the early morning hours of the 26th, they say Sebastian went missing. So is that a little slip of the tongue there? Oh, thank you, RD. That is so sweet. I appreciate you. Thank you. You know, is it a slip of the tongue? Was that a tiny bit of truth that he accidentally let slip out? Is the thud actually part of what happened to Sebastian? Or was that just a word to use that she could throw in there with Nancy Grace? We don't know because we can't trust them. It seems like from the very beginning, is that any better? Can you hear me now? Is that better? It might be our Wi-Fi. It has been messing up all day today. I agree, Lori. The more he slips, okay, good deal. The more he talks, the more he slips up. You're one with birthday, right? You're one with birthday. Sylvester, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Today is Annabella Honey's birthday. Happy birthday to her. But we're sitting here scratching our brains, trying to figure it out, trying our damnedest to help any way possible. And all we have are lies to go by. What are we supposed to do? Oh, Rhonda, it's today Rhonda's birthday. Rhonda. So, guys, it is so frustrating because I sat there and I was like, okay, this is the direction I want to go in next. And I'm like, but how do I approach it? How do I talk about this? Because this is what the mother said. And then my head just started swimming about all the lies that's been told. And I'm like, I'm putting something together. Oh, no. Loretta, don't sing. Ain't happening. But so yeah, where do we go? What are we supposed to do? And yet they want to pretend like they're grieving. How are we supposed to believe that crap? How are we supposed to sit here and say, poor Katie, poor Chris? No. We're here to talk about her son, to keep his face and his name out there, to talk about what we know has happened, to talk about all the things Sebastian related, trying our best to help figure this out in any way we can. And yet they feel the need to fill the YouTube streets with nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. And it's their words. It's the worst part of all. It's their words. It's not me sitting here saying, hey, Katie lied. I don't like her. We just listened to a mother whose very first interview, she told him to go to bed. He said, good night, mama. Good night, puppies. I love you. And he went to bed. 4 or 5 interviews later, there's a thud. And she's reading a book for her schoolwork. I didn't even put all of them on there that she talked about going to bed. I just picked those. There's more. And they're not the same. None of them are the same. But, you know, you go back to the beginning and there's people out there looking for him. They looked. They went out, boots on the ground, and looked for him. And they got threatened. They got tires slashed. Cords and stuff up under their hood got cut. The Cajun Navy backed away because they were getting death threats. And if that doesn't tell you that they don't want nothing found at all, I don't know what does. Because there's a child, a 16-year-old young man. He just turned 16, by the way. 1 month ago. He went missing. He was 15. Now he's this young man. He's 16 years old. Where is he? The mother would know because she was in the home with him. The mother holds the key to everything. And yet she's going to sit here and lie to thousands and thousands of people. And she didn't think anything of it. She just continued to do it. And she's the one that can blow this wide open. But yet she seems to care more about her husband and his family than she does her own son. And people want to talk about Seth. While he's organizing searches, he's boots on the ground himself, he is the person that to this day still can walk up here, get on this camera, and he will start talking about his son and tears fill his eyes because he misses his son. He wants his son home. He wants his son to find him if he can't find his son. He begs for him to get away, go somewhere, find a phone, call 911, all the things that we never hear his mother say. And Seth doesn't have to be prompted. Katie, on the other hand, has to be prompted. She has to be asked, if you could tell Sebastian one thing, what would you say? Come home. You're not in trouble. Well, yeah, that makes anybody want to come to your house. That was just weeks before. Fran asked, when was, oh, not that one. I hate when it skips on me. Lolly, when was the meeting at school where all three was there and Katie was heard being the one that was so loud and talking over? That was just weeks before Sebastian went missing. It wasn't, but I want to say 3 or 4 weeks before. I don't have the exact date, but I know it wasn't very long before. Yeah, you're not in trouble. Isn't that something? I don't think they do, Michelle. Michelle says, Katie and Chris, I believe, do not know what love is. That's why they were together. Lost. Only Seth would know how to love him. Seth has loved him from day one. Seth has loved that child. Seth took care of that child while Katie was in the service. Oh, you're welcome, friend. I wish I had a date for you. I can find out, I bet. Oh, Valley babies, you are not joking on that one. Oh, daggum chat starts moving. She was so distant with him at Texas Roadhouse. He appeared very nervous. He did. He appeared very, very nervous. And when she talked to him, she's using her hands like, duh, you know, and it's like, and I don't care what anybody says, she was not looking for a waitress. That crap right there, just, no. That is not the look you give a waitress when you cut your eyes like that. There was somebody there. Someone was going to be meeting her, and she was looking. Green Hoodie was debunked as Katie's sister. Never heard the sister part, but I did hear Green Hoodie was debunked. So, Chief, my thought on that is there was some kind of handoff. There was a couple of words exchanged, and Katie got in her car and left. Honestly, question, was there something given to Katie that would help Sebastian go to sleep? Yeah, when she looked over her shoulder, girl, yes, that was mean mugging look. Or she was mean mugging someone. Yeah, you can call from the little kiosk that sits on your table there. And besides that, there was 2 or 3 of them that walked past her. That was not a look for a waitress. Give us another story. I agree. Sebastian did know who Green Hoodie was. He was watching very careful, and he was not happy about that person being there. And for that person to walk away from that car, and you could see a hand up here, and that hand came up too, and both hands were up, like, nothing. Yeah, that wasn't innocent. And on top of that, in my opinion, how is it that law enforcement cleared Green Hoodie so quick? How did they clear Green Hoodie just like that? Boom. Overnight, it seemed like. Oh, no, Green Hoodie, we debunked that. No, he was not comfortable with Green Hoodie at all. No way. Yeah, one of the waitresses even brought out more bread. Yeah. But that's, yeah, TJ, cops knew exactly who Green Hoodie was. I agree. They didn't want that whole video. They didn't want it. They didn't go get it. If they wanted to debunk that, they would have went and got it. If they were so interested in Sebastian's last time being seen, they would have went to Texas Roadhouse and got a copy of that video. They didn't. They weren't trying. They weren't looking. That's my opinion. I know they work hard. Don't get me wrong. I know law enforcement is out doing things, but I think their priorities are very askewed. They are very mixed up, tangled up, all kinds of ups. But it's not in the direction of finding Sebastian. Yeah, when she came out of the bathroom, she was texting. It was, Chief. It was the same car as the Proudfoots have. You're right. Yeah, same way you debunk seeing Sebastian in North Carolina. I still question that. Our Blue Eyes Jewel here in our chat, she went there. If there was nothing to that being Sebastian, why did they take her into a room and interrogate her? She was interrogated when she questioned that child out there. And the lady standing there looks an awful lot like Katie's mother. Yes. Seth said, he kept saying it, that was his son. He knew exactly who that woman was. But Blue Eyes Jewel, who was on the phone with Chris, and Katie's in the background saying, please go, please go. And he kept saying, no, it's not Sebastian. And she said, that's my son. Keep go, please go. And Blue Eyes Jewel and her mother went up on that mountain. She paid $50 to go up there. She went in, she asked a question. They took her to an office and she got interrogated. Katie even said that was him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robini, you are right on that one. Every possible sighting of Sebastian, Chris debunks it quick. Hey, Gigi, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. So what does Chris know that we don't know? What does he know that makes him an expert to debunk the sightings that are possibly Sebastian? Hey, R. Taylor, I hope your son's doing good. So yeah, here we are doing our best to talk about things. And every time there's a possible sighting of somebody that has seen Sebastian's picture, been watching these kinds of videos, and yet Chris is going to be the one to debunk it. It's incredibly frustrating. Still in the hospital. Bless your heart. How long has he been in the hospital, R. Taylor? It's been a while now. They need to get busy and start figuring out what's wrong with him. But yeah, it is so frustrating to sit here and to try to figure out what we're supposed to do to help find this child when his own parents can't even tell the truth. His mom and his stepdad cannot say anything truthful. And if they do, we've all heard the story about the little boy who cried wolf. He cried wolf so many times. When it really mattered, nobody believed him. Exactly, Robini. Mother and father would know more than anyone. But it's a stepfather that's, pretty much making all those calls. Because the mom has decided not to talk. She's not going to talk. You want to ask her a question, you can go to the authorities or you can contact her lawyer. That's a mother that's grieving, right? That's what we're supposed to believe. That's how a mother who's lost her child and does not know where this child is, we're supposed to believe that. Almost 2 months. R. Taylor, my goodness. Yeah, y'all keep them in your prayers. You got to just keep the faith. He's been there hanging on and fighting? Yes, I think so. I think you can, Robini. I'm not I want to say yes. Remember Seth saying KP slept like a rock. What if that 3-hour call in orders to put dogs up was a prompt someone? Yes. I think so. Put the dogs away. That's one of those maybe little truths. Put the dogs away so they don't run out the door yapping. Yeah. Yeah. Ellie knew this wasn't a runaway when they put out an Amber Alert. Katie said on Nancy Grace she believed someone had him. But she's the one that said from that first phone call to Chris, I can't find him. He's gone. The call to law enforcement. They didn't go in looking in the house right away. They were out looking out all around because he was a runaway. Remember? Five YouTubers in a red car and gray SUV. Okay, y'all look at this. Trying to read without my glasses. Hang on. There's a lady on Facebook that says she has a friend and knows what all cars were in the neighborhood that night. Trash truck at 5, Uber in red car. Uber. I thought it said YouTuber. Okay. And a gray SUV. Yeah. It's obvious. There's a video of a flashlight coming from the back of their property. Another flashlight comes jotting behind. They go across the common area over to the road. One flashlight runs back to the house. What more do you need, people? It's during the time when Sebastian left the house. During that time that Sebastian, early morning, February 26th. Early morning, February 26th, is a flashlight followed by another flashlight that goes, and we even see the car lights come on as the one light runs all the way back to the house. Not a trash truck, 2 separate lights. And yet, we're supposed to believe 3 hours later, Sebastian got up and was gone within that next 3 hours. Really? That's what they expect us to believe? They expect us to believe all these stories of how he went to bed and what happened before midnight. But none of them are the same. She couldn't tell the truth from the very beginning because it would give her away. It would give someone else away as well. And to me, that tells me that mother loves that other person more than her son. Because it wasn't a trash truck. It wasn't an Uber car. The Uber car didn't stop and wait for 2 flashlights to come and one get in the car with them. That's not how Uber works. Insane. It's so obvious. It's staring us right in the face. And yet, they continue to lie. We get, did he take a polygraph? We don't know. He doesn't tell us over here he's taken a polygraph. He didn't tell Nancy Grace he didn't want her to do a polygraph because the polygrapher didn't know the case. And they wouldn't be able to do a good job on it. No, he didn't say that. He says TBI gave him one. I still don't believe him. I still don't believe him. They can't tell the truth. And all we're doing is trying to help in the process of finding Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That's all we want. We don't care about Katie and Chris, what they did, how they lived, whatever their friends were. I don't give a crap about that. Where is Sebastian? That's all we want. And yet, the one person who has the answers won't even talk to Sebastian's father. Will not talk to him. He walks in the house, finding out his son is missing. And what does she do? Throws the phone up in his face and says, he was happy, see? What is that? What is that about? Guys, my husband and I were 2 weeks away from a divorce when our son was killed in a car wreck. My daughter called her father to tell him. I'm sitting there lost. All I could do was cry. All I could do was shake. My daughter thought they were going to have to take me to the hospital. I was in shock. That's all there was to it. But the minute he walked in that door, he walked past everybody, came straight to me, and his arms went around me, and we held each other and we cried together. Because at that moment, it wasn't about him. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about our troubles. It was about our son. We made arrangements for our son's funeral together as a family. We went to the funeral together as a family. We went to the graveside as a family. We ordered his headstone as a family. And then when it's time to go to court for our divorce, we went. Because that was about us. But losing our child, everything else went out the window. Because it wasn't about us. But Katie, for whatever godforsaken reason, can't get past the fact that it's about Sebastian. It's not about her, and it's not about Seth. And Chris doesn't understand that people want to talk about Sebastian, not about him. But everything he says leads us to more questions. Because none of what he says makes any sense whatsoever. That's it, Gigi. 100%, in my opinion, exactly. It's her guilt. She can't look at Seth because she's guilty. That's it. Oh, thank you, in the shape of a heart. Oh, Pamela. Pamela says, I'd be interested to know if Katie is in possession of a taser. The optimism shirt photo allegedly at Costco with, yeah, those moles are suspicious. I've had lots of people ask about that. Yeah. And guys, don't even get me on the photos. Why are we seeing photos of Sebastian when he was little? We're looking for a young kid. But to see her sitting there, taking photos, getting a picture. There's 2 photos. We haven't seen them. They haven't been put out. Chris says, oh, law enforcement has them. We don't get to choose the photos. Bull crap. Law enforcement gets the photos from you. They ask you, do you have a recent photo? Oh, yeah, here's one about 4 years ago. What's up with that? That right there should tell everybody they did not want him found. They wanted you searching for a young kid, not a grown-up teenager. She's talking now. He's starting to get hair on his lip. We would have never thought that because those aren't the pictures we saw. So that wouldn't be the young man we're looking at. It's disgusting how obvious they are. Yeah. You know, and there's one picture that got put out there and she was all pissed off because he had had chocolate milk. And he had chocolate milk on his lip. You know how many, I got 3 kids. I've had 3 sets of school pictures. My daughter took her picture one day, had her all cute and dressed up. Well, she decided to play kickball in her little dress with her little hair all fixed up. Loved the picture when I saw it. It was so her. But it wasn't all fixed up perfect. It was what she looked like after she was playing kickball. Those are something to treasure. Memories of how your kids really were. If you want a perfect picture, then you be there with them. You have a comb ready. You have another shirt ready. You know, all the things ready. Because kids are kids. But she hates that picture because he had milk, chocolate milk on his lip. Well, that's who he might have been. It is just amazing to me how they can sit here and put out all these lies about this handsome young man. And he's still missing. And yet, wherever he is, he's by himself. He's not with his parents. He has a father who's begging for somebody to find him, who's begging for his son to get away and get to the phone and call 911. He's begging to be able to hold his child and hug him, just to hold him in his arms for a while, to see him, to touch him, to feel his child. And we have a mother that's worried about the chocolate milk on his face in that picture. We have a mother that can't even tell the correct story about what happened when it came to bedtime that night. But by golly, we know what size popcorn he got. We know what he had for breakfast, didn't we? Her priorities are all kinds of mixed up, and that's the saddest thing as a mother. That's the saddest level you could ever get to. And then we've got all the extra characters that are involved. And it all seems to be pointing more towards Chris's family than anything. Yeah. Mama Duke's, the chocolate milk. Yeah, she had chocolate milk all over him. That's what she calls it. She don't like that picture. You know, I heard a thing where Chris was asked the other day, not too long ago, are there 5 CPS cases against you? His words, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If there were 5 cases from CPS, and CPS don't come see you because you didn't pay your light bill. They didn't come see you because you rear-ended somebody at the grocery store. They didn't come see him because he shortchanged somebody. They came because a child was harmed and in danger and abused and all the things pertaining to his stepson that lived with him. One of those cases was filed against Katie. Sebastian's father did not know about those cases because they were told that his father had nothing to do with them. He wasn't in the picture. So they didn't track down his dad to let him know his child was being abused. But yet we have Seth telling us he can't say what's in there. But if we knew, he said it would keep you up at night. Guys, that's not just all happy-go-lucky birthday parties and butterflies. It's not what that is. That's bad. It's bad. And yet that man's still out living his life, moving out of the home that Sebastian would come home to if he was missing. I've said it before and I'll say it again and I'll continue to say it. You don't look for something that you already know where it's at. And you don't threaten people if you don't want that one found. But if you're trying to hide something, you will threaten people. You will continue to threaten people. You will continue to cause distractions. We even heard it from Crabtree himself when he said him and Clue sat down with Katie and Chris in their house on their couch, and they wanted this email to go out. He couldn't quite understand why. It was an email that would make Seth look like he was the bad person trying to put Sebastian away in a home for special needs kids. But that email didn't say that Katie and Seth had already looked into it. And Seth wouldn't allow his son to go to the place that they chose because children had died under their care. That home had people that let their children go there to be fixed and healed and taught the right way. And yet their child died. Multiple families had to endure that. But none of that was in that email. It was homes that Seth was suggesting that they look into instead of the one Katie and Chris chose. All that was another distraction. Let's put it off on Seth, put it off on Seth, put it off on Seth. Well, they can keep trying all they want to, but they make themselves look stupid. We've caught on to the lies. We've caught on to all the distractions. Rosebud, I agree. Same for me, and probably same for everybody else, except for where Christopher grew up. She said, where I live, someone would be behind bars. They need to be. They really need to be. Where I live, people don't put up with that. Law enforcement does not let things just ride while they watch you, while they listen to what you're saying. And almost a year later, they're still just letting it all ride. No. Here in Texas, there's this thing called interrogation, and it's serious business. Because when it's so obvious to everybody, when your words are nothing but lies pertaining to the events leading up to your child going missing, when you sit there and tell us those two flashlights coming from the back of your backyard to a car, and only one light goes back to your backyard, you're going to tell us that's a trash truck? No. No. It don't work that way. Hey, Jude, how you doing, girl? Thanks for being here. Yeah. They are trying their best to insult our intelligent. Lady, you are so wrong, and I'll be careful if I was you. Oh, Enid. I scared. Not. No. Oh, have you heard that Tyler guy that, he was that Tyler Farrell, or however you pronounce his last name, he was sitting there saying these things about, I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid. But, he was on YouTube talking about all these missing kids and stuff. He goes to their church. He put out a whole post. He doesn't know them. They never went to his church. So is that another lie from Katie and Chris about this awesome youth group? Is that it? Can't believe anything they tell us, not even about church. Okay. Yeah, somebody did say on Facebook they never been seen in that church. Yeah. They don't promote finding him, that's for sure. That's right. I mean, you're going to lie about church. Give me a break. Yeah, the Bowerstocks go there. Said they hadn't seen Katie or Chris or Sebastian. Now, that comes from the Tyler guy who has a YouTube channel or had one. Hey, Guidance, how are you? Yeah, Nina said, you lost a whole child. How did you do that? Yeah. I have no idea why she lawyered up. We just got the word that she did. You know, I mean, maybe things were getting a little too hot. I don't know. So, yeah, they are Guidance. They're saying that for sure. I'm trying to read chat. Got this headache. It's killing me. Hello to everybody that's come in. Thank y'all for coming in. I'm evil. How can you? Oh, you are evil. How can you lose half a child? You know, I do feel sorry for Nina. And guys, I'm going to be straight up with this one. I feel sorry for Nina because she has to send her child to a home where a child is missing. Forget all the crap, forget all the drama, forget all the lies, the hate, all the stuff. For a mother to send her child to a home where they've lost a child that was in his bed, that has got to be horrific. That has got to be horrible. And like I said, that's nothing against Katie and Chris. That's a mother. That is straight up a mother. And the terrifying feeling she probably has to have. Yeah, Jesus does frown on liars. That's for sure. You would think so, Chit Chat. Wouldn't you think that would be enough to say, hold off on the visits, let's get all this sorted out? She is the chosen child, especially for her grandmother. I don't know. And like I say, that's take all the crap out of it. As a mother, I feel bad for Katie. I mean, for Nina, having to send her child to Katie and Chris. Nothing against them, but just the fact that Sebastian was in his bed and now he's not, and no one knows where he is. That's got to be terrifying. I couldn't imagine. I'd probably fight against the judge. You know, I probably would. I'm hearing he has an apartment. I tell you what, though, that house is still in Miss Kathy's name. Something just fell. I don't know what it was. Yeah, it's that house, the pictures that have been put out, the old house that Katie and Chris lived in. It's still in Mommy Sock's name. Yeah, he did, didn't he, Tina? Crabtree did spill the beans. Yeah. I agree, BJ Bob. He should not have custody of a fish. Not even his bachelor pad. Hi, Opal. How you doing? Ooh, Mama always does cover for the Chris. Yeah. Oh, that was Crabtree when he spilled the beans about the email he was going to put out for Katie and Chris. They wanted him to put out that email about Seth wanting to find a home for Sebastian. Here's some suggestions. Yeah, but it wasn't the whole story. Tina, it is so hard when I try to think of Katie as a grieving mother, only because it's been 4.5 years since I talked to my son the last time I spoke to him. Well, matter of fact, next week will be 5 years, 5 years. Gosh. But I can tell you every word he said to me. I can tell you every movement he made, everything about that last minutes with him. He stopped at my work and stayed there about an hour, and I could tell you every bit of that hour. Every single detail. And it's the same as I told that very night. It didn't change. Nothing changes. And so it's hard for me as a grieving mother to look at Katie as a grieving mother. I just don't see it. And yes, people do grieve differently. But I'm telling you, the last words your child said never changes. The last time you hugged him, touched him, looked at him, nothing. It doesn't change. Doesn't change at all. Oh, okay. Okay. So I just got a picture of Terry Bowersox at his church. So he definitely does go there. They don't give nothing about her, and she means absolutely zero to Katie. That's what Chris is saying. Oh, that Yada, yeah. They're really going hard after her. Yeah. Exactly, Michelle. I have them. Trust me. Yep. Too much. There's too many things that receipts don't lie. That's right, guidance. Receipts don't lie. But there's too many things that a grieving mother will react to. There's signs. There was let me put it to you this way. There was 3 of us mothers. There was a good friend of mine. Our kids went to school since they were in pre-K together. There was the lady that lived across the street. Their sons committed suicide. They took their own life. And we all 3 grieved differently. We really did. But I could see them being happy. But at the same time, they were so sad. I don't know if it's because I knew that she has that loss. But I was talking to a woman at the grocery store, and I was helping her find the right aisle. She had just moved there and everything. And I asked her if she was okay. I said, I hope you have a good day. She said, I haven't had a good day in about a year. I could just tell. And she told me she had lost her daughter to cancer. And it was just, you could tell. You could tell. Katie doesn't show those things. I just don't see it. I may be wrong, but that's how I feel. And when you have the stepdad saying to the father on day one, what if it goes south? Seth asking, what do you mean if it goes south? And Chris said, what if he's dead? What are you going to do? Day one, they're in the car, riding around, looking. And that was a conversation Chris had with Seth. And it has always made me wonder, is that his way of trying to prepare Seth? I've always wondered when he said, the police told us that we might as well accept the fact that he's probably already gone. The police are not going to tell you that. They're not going to say that. But here's a stepfather that keeps saying those things. Yeah, butterflies. Yep. He said that the officer told him that he might as well prepare her for Sebastian being gone. No. So is that his way of bringing that topic into play? I don't know, but it makes me wonder. No, Randa, I agree with you. No, the police are not going to say that. Just like they're going to not tell him, no, don't go to Nancy Grace and take a polygraph by an FBI polygrapher. I would rather have an FBI polygrapher do my polygraph to prove I'm innocent than I would just some Joe Blow local police officers polygraphers. My goodness. But, hey, Nancy Grace is the original tragedy pimp. That's what they say. Guys, there's a lot of new people in here. And I'm going to go ahead and play again the video that I did. Let me see. Oh, I don't know that I still have it up. Let me see what I can find here. Yeah, here it is. Hang on, guys. Let me get this set. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to do this and I'm going to play it for you. And that way y'all can see it. While we're doing the video, if y'all don't mind, hit that like button, thumbs up. If you haven't subbed, I really would appreciate it. If you would join us on this endeavor as we try our best to stay focused on Sebastian. And here we go. Let me get this. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Or it's not much to enjoy, but hi, Dr. Moonshine. Here we go. I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
I understand. Miss Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Should I believe him or my lying ears that he has never taken a polygraph before? Didn't he tell us that?
That's what he said. He told you that.
Okay. Dave Mack, crimeonline.com investigative reporter, did he not tell another outlet he had already taken a polygraph and passed it?
Yep, he sure did. Exact words.
Explain,
he said somebody
please.
asked. He did interviews. He did a number of interviews, Nancy, when and in this one particular, asked about, have you taken a polygraph? He said, somebody asked the question, this is a direct quote, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who or when, but what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed, so I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. Exact words. That's what he said.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, I was also offered a polygraph from TBI to take, and I took the TBI polygraph. No disrespect to anybody else out there that's a prolificer. They don't know anything about the case. So, I mean, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask to get you a baseline or whatever, and then, you know, there's a lot of things that go into asking those questions. You just can't just randomly ask a question and expect it to be a yes or a no question.
There's also a reason they
about Nancy Grace. I mean, I would not have stood up in that show allowing somebody to address me like she did, because that was a full-on investigation. Like she interrogated you guys. That was an interview.
But so look at Nancy's Grace show for what it is. You know, what is her job? Her job is not to sit there and worry about the questions that she gets, that she asks me. That's not what her job is.
Yeah.
Her job is to bring in the ratings and bring in the audience. Yep. So however they need to do that is what they do.
Nancy Grace was the original tragedy pimp.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Say goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
The night, Sunday night, when you said there was a noise, what type of noise do you think that was that you heard?
I'm not honestly sure. It sounded like he was messing with stuff in his room, which was not uncommon, which is why I said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you're supposed to go to sleep."
Okay. So you didn't check on him at that time, but did you check on him at midnight? Did you flip the light on and look to see if he was in the bed at midnight when you got up to go to bed?
No, and because I didn't have any reason to. You know, when he was little, I used to check on him all the time, but he's older now and he's 15, and y'all can figure out why a mother may not want to necessarily pop into a teenage boy's room unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Back to that night, you said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school. Are you in school?
I was, yes, ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
What are you studying?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate, inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not, no.
That right there is, that would be an assumption, and we never saw him. We saw what he went to bed in, and that was.
Just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February until I came home February 26th.
Children do not vanish into thin air on their own. Someone else has to be involved. So
It's not about Seth. It's not about KK. It's not about Edgar. It's about get your ass out there and do it anyways. That's what it's about.
Okay, guys, hang in there. I can't get this off my screen. There it goes. Okay. Hello to everybody. Thank y'all all for being here. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Oh, thank you, Lori, for being here. Have a good night. Oh, thank you, Randa. Yeah, RD, bless that child's heart and soul, wherever he may be. Thank you, Tina girl. Like I said earlier, I was trying to figure out which direction for tonight's video, and it started aggravating me with all the different stories. So I put it together, and that wasn't all of them. That's not all of their lies. They're contradictory stories. It's not all of them. I just chose a few. because Sebastian deserves better than all the lies that's being put out there. Hi, Karen. Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. We have a 16-year-old young man that is somewhere. He needs to be found. And I don't care about anything other than Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He is our focus. We want him found. We're invested. That big old smile of his has won all of our hearts over. And yet, the distractions, the lies, the attacks, it doesn't help. But it won't stop us either. We have to be strong. We have to keep going. We have to keep doing this because this is for Sebastian. Not for us, not for his parents. It's for Sebastian. That's what we're here for, guys. And I can't say it enough. Stay true to Sebastian because there's a lot of crap out there. A lot of daggers being thrown, lies being pushed, stories being told. Don't let it insult your common sense intelligence. Because that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to spin a narrative to keep us from the truth. But the truth will prevail. I believe in the truth. I believe in Sebastian. And I believe in the promise that we've all made to him that we will find where he is. We will see justice for him. And if we stick with that, then we will prevail. So, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate y'all coming in and saying hi, and those in the bushes. Y'all mean just as much. Thank y'all for all being here. Yeah. RD, I pray that he can be found. Because once he's found, the truth will come out. I honestly believe that. So, with that, I'm going to say good night. Tomorrow we're going to do early. We're probably going to go about 4:30. So I hope y'all can join me then. There's just a whole lot of competition at nighttime. So I think we'll do better going a little early. But I do thank y'all all for being here. Just know that you are appreciated so, so much. And I would much rather be talking to y'all instead of myself. So y'all are what makes it happen. Thank you for what y'all do. So with that, you got to work. Oh, Bo. Okay. Well, join us when you can. Thank you for being here. So with that, I'm going to say, mwah, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.